Good morning, everybody. It's Jillian. So, yeah, trying to break the public's habit of treating people as if they were doctors or homeopathics or an authority on something. Treating people as if they had more power than you, where you give so much credit to somebody, where you're almost deifying them. And the conspiracy world is huge in that. They have deified, good morning, Jess. They have deified a lot of people in the media, a lot of the titans of industry. They have deified the Rockefellers, the Morgans. Um, they deified Kissinger. They've even deified Bill Gates. Yeah. Some now are trying to deify me in some way by saying that I somehow am affiliated with the Illuminati. And no. Um, it's interesting that this new world is going to put a reality on what's going on out there. Okay, we humans, and myself included, have put a lot of credibility and a lot of emphasis in giving people so much power. When you blame someone for anything, I don't care what it is, when you blame someone for anything, you have given them so much power, like you've given away your own power. Um, and that is the downfall of some humans, to where they give away their power to such an extent that now they have taken away any personal responsibility, and they have given away their power to someone they don't even know, like Bill Gates, like the Morgans and the Rockefellers, like anyone that has maintained and perpetuated law and order. I mean, even the whole thing with the Queen, when you say that the Queen is a lizard, the David Icke people, it gets beyond ridiculous. To say that I'm part of the Illuminati and think that I have some kind of access, no. That is where somebody has deified people because you have no power. What you're projecting is you have no power. And so the only way things actually happen and why they happen the way they happen is because of somebody else pulling the strings. Yeah, I mean, look, we all know that there is psychological operations out there. There are people that are very educated and know how to manipulate humanity. But humanity has allowed themselves to be manipulated by people that know more, because humanity uh, doesn't want to access information to be on the same level, and so they are always deifying somebody else. Okay, so I gotta figure out what the name of this video is because I know I was going somewhere with this, but yeah, I mean, I absolutely have no more power. The Jilly Juice has the power to regenerate. It's interesting how some of these people in the media on YouTube and yeah, like YouTube, where they're interviewing David Icke, and they would rather interview David Icke over someone that says, hey, potentially we can regenerate cells at an exponential level. But it's far more entertaining to entertain someone like David Icke, who's saying that there's a lizard people and that the COVID doesn't exist, and like all of these really way out topics, like we're run by this cabal. Yeah, there's people that want, like any kind of war, there's people that want to take power. No different than when, when like the Mongols versus the Romans or something, It's an age old thing, So someone wants to usurp someone else's power. It's no different. But my God, the humanity has taken things to such a next level, and they have deified people that shouldn't be deified. Okay? And so, yeah, I mean, at some point, this new world that we have, we're gonna say, okay, everyone's human. Everyone has the ability to understand information. Good morning, Deborah. Everyone has everyone has the capability to research on their own. They don't need someone to consult them. I don't do personal consultations. And when you want someone to do a personal consultation, to go back and forth and guide you through a process, it says that you don't have the capability yourself to guide yourself through your own process with the same information I get my information from, and you need, somebody else. So, that's why I am the way I am with my group. That is exactly, and it may seem like I'm so, like I'm trying to be a control freak, but no, there is a very specific perspective I want you to come from, is that you don't dilute my group with nonsensical questions, with triggering someone to demonize any kind of food, trigger someone to promote the organic and the Monsanto, the anti-Monsantos. The whole point of my group is to understand how the J juice works and then do it and then report on your progress to help others to understand that there is nothing scared, nothing horrible about J juice. It's not antibiotic. Nobody will die from it. And you be that pillar, that lantern, that light for somebody else. And if you can't be a light for somebody else, then don't dilute my group with all the nonsensical crap. Like, what is HSP? What the hell is that? There's people in my group for like 11 months. They were in my old group. I add them in here because I figured, okay, maybe they might have some kind of testimony or some kind of update. Nothing. I go to their private page. They're promoting all the conspiracy stuff. They're promoting all the other crap. And they're not even contributing to the group in any way, shape, or form that's going to give other people hope. Okay? You can't live on hope alone, but at least you give somebody hope to where they get into action to then actually be a hope for somebody else in their world. It's not enough to demonize vaccines. It's not enough to demonize prescription drugs. It's not enough to demonize anything that you're against. Okay, fine. We all know that the prescription drugs and the vaccines are not 100%. We know that. We know that, it's only good some of the time for some of the people, but not good all the time for all the people. We're trying to do something good for all people all the time, whether they know it or not, whether they know it's working, whether they know it or not, it's not working. It is working. Jelly juice works for everybody. Whether you understand it is a difference. But vaccines don't work for everybody. Prescription drugs don't work for everybody, but they do work for some people some of the time, but not all the people all the time. And so we now have to change our perspective and start looking for something that is universal for all people all the time. But if you can promote something that works for everybody for all the time, and you are promoting something where it works for some people some of the time, then you're putting everybody in a situation where they actually have no choices because you're not giving them a way out. If you're not giving them an option for a vaccine and you're not giving the option for jelly juice, what other option do they have? Holistic? Holistics are no different than a vaccine or an allopathic protocol. It's the same thing, just in a different form. So that's why I am the way I am, because I don't want anybody backing anybody into a corner where they have nothing left. Right now, we have people out there that make too much money off of being against me, that they're backed into a corner by their own hand. Their audience is too big for them to change their perspective. Okay? So I don't do any personal consults because I don't follow that model, the doctor-patient model. And I shouldn't, because I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to guide someone through an antibiotic protocol because jelly juice is not antibiotic. It's just food. If you say that someone dies from food, then that's the most warped thing ever. So, and John goes, people can't get enough consumption from all the past videos, then it's safe to say we're all going to have to drink theirs. Yeah, that's fine. If you say that someone dies from food because jelly juice is a food, then you know what? You got predispositions. You got a lot more problems than anybody else can handle. Oh, it's so interesting. And that's the thing is I don't just reach the people in America. I reach people across the world that don't understand. And they have friends that are doing it that don't understand. And then, it's like, that's why I feel bad for Bill Gates, because he is sorely misunderstood. Even if something works some of the time for some people, it's still something, right? But they're saying that even this hydrochloro or this remdesivir, whatever, some kind of antiviral, it works for 2 out of 3 people. So what happens to the 1/3 of the people out there that can't get a benefit from these antivirals, which are basically immunosuppressive protocols, pills? Okay. Oh, but that's the same thing as the outcome for someone surviving the coronavirus. Maybe 1/3 of the population will not be able to survive it. 2/3 might. You get better odds trying to fight the coronavirus on your own with the J juice than you would taking some antiviral, because you maybe cannot afford it. So I would rather have something that works 100% all the time for all the people than some of the time for some people. And that's the difference with the J juice, because it is working even if you don't know it's working. You've mischaracterized your symptoms, so then you want to go take painkillers to suppress your symptoms. And that's why people are in the situation they're in, because that's what they keep doing to their body year by year, symptom by symptom. Jilly juice works 100% of the time, no matter what, even if you don't know it. Just because you don't know it's working doesn't mean it's not working. Oh, it's working. Now, some people are going to have to deal with their predispositions, yes, but that's not the Jilly juice fault. That's your own fault. That's years and years of abuse on your body that you're going to have to deal with. So that's one of the biggest things that is misunderstood about the J juice. But it works 100% all the time for all the people, no matter what, because it's food. Okay? And it's not antibiotic. Now, here's the thing. People are allergic to food. And that's the thing where people get confused. Like, what about these allergies, these food allergies? Well, there's no salt in tomatoes. If you have a tomato or an egg allergy, obviously don't eat that. But then the salt and the probiotics is what makes the difference as far as you surviving an allergic reaction or surviving some histamine reaction. Okay? The salt and the probiotics and the nutrition in the cabbage and kale is what's going to have you survive any allergy that you may encounter or have a predisposition. Oh, I'm allergic to cabbage. No, you're not allergic to cabbage. You just don't want to feel to heal. Okay? There is no one that's allergic to cabbage, really, or kale. They've just been told by their doctor because they have issues that for them not to get a symptom is the body's trying to heal and all of that, and you're not giving it what it needs. So they say, well, we don't want you to have any kind of symptoms, because that is the point of the allopathic holistic, is to suppress all of your symptoms to where you feel nothing. But there's nothing poisonous about cabbage, kale, salt, or water, or probiotics. It's all a very strategic, advanced form of data, and you have to understand what it takes to go through the healing process. And I would say most people are not going to have what it takes. And so that's why there is a misrepresentation of the J juice. And, it is what it is. Okay, what is this? Okay. Next. Okay, whatever. Weird. Anyway, sorry. So yeah, I don't do personal consults. So I've been getting like private messages and in the business inbox and all that stuff. Or like, oh yeah, talking about Jeff Holiday, which, Jeff makes a business and I get it. And I give him a lot of credit for his business. That's fine. You make money however you make money, whatever. And they all like, hey, I want you to consult, for my mom and for this. No, we don't. The J juice doesn't do anything for anybody else. Everybody has to personally understand the information. You don't give this to anyone without them understanding what this is. Because if you don't understand that they have to feel and heal, and the J juice is not poisonous, but you're going to have to deal with the healing process, then, there's no point in anybody trying to administer to something that they don't get. And this is food, but remember, people don't understand that there are some foods that are so highly nutritious that they're going to have to feel and heal. And if you want to eat foods that are so benign where it doesn't do anything for you, that is why we are in this situation that we're in. That is why we have an aging population, because people eat food that really doesn't give them the benefit. Okay? And that's what I have to get through and penetrate, is people realizing that they're eating food that is not giving them a major amount of return on their investment. And they have predispositions where they can't even absorb the food that they're getting. And so that's why the J juice is so amazing, is because you're actually going to get benefit from the food, like real benefit from the J juice. You know, simply eating eggs and bacon and potatoes on a body that doesn't absorb is just like wasted energy. It's like law of thermodynamics. It's wasted energy. You'll get some benefit from it, but not enough to where it makes a difference in the long run. Okay? So your body is going to make food only work for you temporarily until there's nothing left. And some of you have a lot more minerals in your body. Some of you have a lot more hormones and nutrients in your body that is stored up, whether it's fat or energy. And so you're able to afford to have a malabsorption because you have a lot to you. But over time, when you have a lot more going out than coming in, you know, the second law of thermodynamics will trigger and you will see wasted energy. And right, Tiffany, and hopefully you give them the new book when it comes out, because I don't want someone to think that I'm anti-vax. I'm not anti-vax. It has a place for people. I want them to do the white salt, not the pink salt. So the book right now that's out right now is going to be revised. It's going to be discontinued. It's only there out there for people just to see where my head's at a couple years ago, back actually right after Dr. Phil. And then you're going to see with my new book where my head's at today, and you'll see a marked difference. So that's why I keep the book out right now, so that way people can see that there is an old Jillian and then there's the evolution of Jillian. Okay? Okay, great, Tiffany. But yeah, evolution happens. It's sometimes it can happen very immediate and like in a couple years, and evolution can happen over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. There is no time limit on evolution. Evolution is just what it just depends upon the chemistry and the biochemistry and the environment. And right now we're going through a major evolutionary process with this virus. Some people don't understand that. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm not going to wear a mask. I'm sorry if you're immunocompromised. If you're immunocompromised, then you got to stay home. But people think that people like me are monsters because we're like, hey, I don't need to protect myself from you. I can be around someone that's highly communicable and I can handle that transmission. And so if you can't handle your environment, that shouldn't be anyone else's problem but that individual's problem. And that's the same thing as far as the Jilly Juice world and the non-Jilly Juice world. It's like, you know, people don't want to take responsibility for their predispositions. And so it's everybody else's fault that they have to deal with their predispositions. Okay? And that goes along the lines of politics. You know, if you are slamming me because I'm a Republican and pro-Trump and all that stuff, and you don't understand why I'm a Republican, why it's about personal responsibility, that I can't take care of people that can't take care of themselves, then you don't understand the foundation of this protocol. It's not about getting a consultation. It's not about getting someone to guide you through the process. It's not about someone, you know, doing it for you. It's like you have to do it yourself. So there is no personal consultations. There's enough information on my videos and in my book and on, you know, my Facebook page and business page for you to make your choices. And so, you know, so yeah, I mean, with all that's going on, I'm getting new viewership, I'm getting new interest, and I think it's great. You know, I really do. I think it's great because everyone deserves to have some kind of exposure to this, some kind of access to this. Whether or not they believe it, whether or not they think that I'm credible or not, they've been exposed to this. And when my book comes out in June, they can look at all of my bibliography because the publisher that I work through makes sure that I'm using credible sources. They don't want Wikipedia. They don't want any blog sites. They want credible sources from something like the National Institute of Health or PubMed or some kind of academic institution. That's the kind of bibliography and sources they want to substantiate my perspective. Okay, so the only thing that I didn't substantiate really, I don't think, is the fact of what ghosts are, which is basically the spirit, right? We're made up of the body, mind, and spirit. The ghosts are the spirit missing the RNA and DNA, which there are ghost viruses, I guess. They can call it ghost viruses because in a lot of ways it's true. There's the virus is not alive. It's something that's transmitted and it has to have a host. Okay, so if there's a virus without a host, it's a ghost when you think about it. But how do you find substantiation in that? You can't. So it is something that I'm going to put out there. But that's probably the only thing that I would say that's really unsubstantiated from PubMed is the fact that, viruses are a ghost without a host. I'm going to write that down. Viruses are a ghost without a host. Okay? That's freaking clever. Oh my God. I love it. Because you need, for a virus to be able to thrive, it needs a host. Whether it's a small little protein or a bunch of proteins mixed together with parasites and protozoa and proteins and, fungus and bacteria, viruses need a host. And they only take over the host if the host is that weak. So that's why you have to have your immune system and all of your 11 different systems working for you to be able to still derive benefit from that virus, but not have that virus take over you to where it then sends off anomalous messages to your 11 different systems. You still have to be able to override any other programming that's in your environment as far as your life trajectory. I think I was watching this movie called, I gotta watch the rest of it. It's called Prodigy. And it's about, and they talk about reincarnation. I watched the premise of it last night. And as soon as they gave me the premise of it, I turned it off because I'm like, okay, I got the premise of this. But it was interesting. This person's like this psycho killer, and he ends up dying under like police, gunfire, because he ran out of his, because he kidnapped somebody and cut off her hand, and she escaped to the woods, and they found out where he was, and he came out all naked, and they shot him down. And so he ended up dying right there. And then, right, at the same time that he was dying, a baby was being born to this mother. And somehow, I guess, showing those two edited pieces, juxtaposition together, it's almost like you're seeing like the transfer of that unfinished psycho killer being transferred into that baby. Now this baby is this prodigy who's kind of psycho. And then the turning point was when she went and did research, and I guess that her kid was speaking in tongues in the middle of the night, like a dream. And it was like Hungarian, and it was a very, very rare dialect of Hungarian. And so she taped the kid and gave it to the psychologist. The psychologist did all this research, found out what the kid was actually saying. It was basically like, there was almost like a possession, but they didn't call it possession. He was saying that reincarnation exists, and that the natural spirit of the child was being overridden by the spirit of, and I don't know why it wouldn't be called possession, by the spirit that hasn't finished its business. And this kid was like doing really bad stuff, like killing things and all that. And so that's, so anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's this, right, as far as ghosts. So, that could be, what ghosts are, is that things are floating around. You can always create life on a continuous basis, but then maybe there's unfinished lives out there that have to go and start over again. And you may not have a lot of memory of the past, but maybe you do. Some people say that they know about the Greek mythology and they never studied it before. Some people have hidden talents, but maybe it's through their genetic line that they've learned this stuff and they were able to tap into their ancestral knowledge. So, I mean, there's all of that, but I don't go into that great theoretical depth in the book. Everything is just straight up science in my book. But that's, the premise that I take is that, everything's straight science, but then there's the only thing that's not substantiated is the viruses are a ghost without a host. But then you think about it, viruses they need a host. So that's why we don't do anything to kill a virus. These antivirals are really suppressing your immune system. It's not killing the virus. You can't kill a virus. You can render it chemically inert for a very short amount of time. The only way you can kill a virus is to kill the host. Okay? But the virus is so prevalent that even though you kill this one host, it's found another host because viruses need biodiversity. Okay? Viruses need biodiversity, and you have to strengthen your body, mind, and spirit to handle the virus because you can't get away from it. So when they're doing this, artificial intelligence, AI, that's kind of what these virology labs are. They are doing artificial intelligence. They're putting together things and doing gene splicing, doing protein docking, all of this biotechnology stuff, trying to create a very advanced human. And when you release something like a virus, whether it's in a lab, because it did substantiate in Fox News, where it did originate in the lab. It's not something that came naturally in the environment. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But they're saying that it was created in a lab, and that China was trying to compete with America as far as drugs and developing vaccines, and they developed and created this virus that no matter what you do with the virus, it's going to upgrade the human, so as long as the human can handle it. And some humans can handle it, and other humans are going to be systematically degraded from it. So it all depends upon individually how you support your body and nourish it, I guess it's a nice way to say it, but how you upgrade your body with the right nutrition and understanding the symptoms for what they are, not suppressing your symptoms. So, so yeah, viruses are a ghost without a host. So that's why I'm thinking that everything in the Ghost Adventures is basically viruses, and the energy around the person's passing, and why. And some people have very, aggressive energy when they pass, and that's why they see only things that are very, very severe as far as the energy they leave behind when they do pass. So I don't know. I mean, it's all very, very interesting, very fascinating, but Jade juice is not antibiotic. It's nothing that you should ever fear, but you're going to have to deal with your predispositions. And COVID-19 is going to force everyone to deal with their predispositions. So, we live in a world that's very advanced in areas that you really are not aware of. There are conspiracies out there, but not what you think. Everyone, you all have the ability to put together information, so as long as it's been substantiated in academia. Just making up stuff as you go along with no substantiation behind it, even in another context, that's not the point of our world. Our point of our world is to come from a foundation. And you take all of these concepts and things that have been substantiated and peer reviewed, and you just reconfigure them with a different perspective. And that's all Jilly Juice is. So it's like, nobody is more special. Bill Gates is no more special than anybody else. I mean, if you have some kind of foundation in computer science, and you had the time and you had the knowledge, and, there could be a lot of Bill Gates out there. He just happened to come upon this and put his brains together and do, at that point in time. But, some people just have to, the timing is right. Some people just happen to be, have a good timing in their curiosity, and then what the need is out there. Okay? I mean, does it no different than Steve Apple or Steve Jobs and all of these titans of industry, the Rockefellers or Rothschilds, they all were very timely in their investments. Okay? And so you all have that possibility if you get your body, mind, and spirit correct. If you come upon something and you have something and you don't let it go. So I'm telling you, the Jilly Juice will open up worlds and worlds of possibility that you could then change something else in another industry. Or you can, find a different way to apply Jade Juice where you'll still have the same results and maybe faster. I don't know what that would be, because you can't starve yourself. You shouldn't starve yourself. And you can't improve upon perfection, because Jade Juice is perfection. So what would you do in your world along with the Jade Juice to make it easy for somebody else? Maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a way to give it intravenously to somebody, but they're still going to have to feel pain. So no matter what, you're going to have to go up against the allopathic holistic world that are like, painkillers. Okay. So there's plenty of room for perfecting the Jade Juice for curative purposes. And could you regrow limbs and arms and all that stuff without feeling pain? I have no idea. Is it possible? I have no idea. Maybe someone will invent that. Do we have to be in pain to regrow limbs and arms and legs? I don't think right now it's possible not to be in pain to heal the body, but maybe there is a way to do that where you can live indefinitely and not feel pain at all, any way, shape, or form. I have no idea. So that's something that you all can figure out. But at this juncture, you got to feel to heal. Will that be different down the road? I have no idea. But those are the blind spots, and those are the things to consider. But right now, people are so intent upon dying that they're so used to dying that it doesn't matter what they do. They could say no to vaccines or say yes to vaccines, but if they're still believing in death, then it's not going to matter what protocol they apply to their body. The end result is still going to be the same. So maybe, if someone really wants to be inventive, how do you prolong life indefinitely and reverse the aging process and not feel pain at the same time, even if you have predispositions? That would be an amazing invention. I don't know what that is yet. That's up for the real scientists out there. The real ones are in the labs to figure that out. And I don't think they will. But hey, anything is possible, right? Anything is possible. But at this point, this juncture, I've got over the hump of the pain of my predispositions. I'm on the other side of it. I won't really have to deal with that, but there's a lot of people that don't want to deal with pain, but still want what I have. And I don't think it's possible, but hey, someone might invent it. Who knows? Okay. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to do my thing, but you guys have an amazing day and enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy everything. And congratulations on just knowing the Jilly Juice, because now you have the next level of whatever to go and trigger and be awesome at. Did I even say anything there? But whatever. All right. Bye.